You have to separate feeling something from acting on that feeling. Because you may feel hopeless many times, but you need to continue doing the activities aligned with your goal. You may feel hungry, but you need to not eat the cookie to stay aligned. You may feel angry, but know that retaliating at your coworker has no positive outcome. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you need to act on it. Brother, you are at war with one person, yourself. And when you finally stop making excuses for him, you become unstoppable. It's not because you're a new man. It's because you're finally becoming the man God created you to be. So make it happen. Most people are missing something because they don't know who they are. They never examine themselves. They've never done this experiment on themselves. It's a choice people have to make in life. You'll never hear me say I am missing something. You find it in the sock. Your dream never died. You buried it when it got hard. The majority of people don't even lose their dreams. They quit on them. The moment life gets uncomfortable, they stop. Just like that. Dreams only survive if you're willing to go through the pain, the rejection, the fear, and all the setbacks. Every time you give up, you're digging the grave for the life you wanted. Remember, the strongest dreams are the ones carried through the storm. So when it gets hard, don't step back. That's the sign your dream is still alive, waiting for you to fight for it. The bad days create the story I am one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome? It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off-season at 6 a.m. to go train, knowing all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. But understand this, life is hard to be successful at anything. The truth is, you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't, consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. Just keep going. Walk through hell long enough, and eventually you'll be able to turn around and watch it burn behind you. Everything happening to you is God processing. Every difficult moment you're having, He's just processing. That's all He's doing. Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you asked God for. If you need to be tough when you get to where you're going, then He's going to toughen you. If you need to be more caring, He's going to let trials come your way that produce that in you. How do I deal with setbacks, failures, delays, defeats, or other disasters? I have a simple way summed up in one word: good. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that comes from it. Didn't get the job you wanted? Good. Go out, gain more experience, build a better resume. Got injured? Good. Needed a break from training. We learned unexpected problems. Good. We have an opportunity to figure out a solution. Most people in life quit before the candy comes out. They quit before the candy comes out of their business, their body, their relationships, not knowing they're much closer to the dream than they think. The progress is invisible. You have to keep hitting that piñata in your life. Keep taking swings. One more swing. One more swing. One more swing, knowing you're making invisible progress. Remember when I said you're neglecting your kids when you're not chasing your dreams and your potential? You're actually neglecting you. You're neglecting your spirit, your soul, the very reason you were born. Nothing makes me more proud than to see someone chasing their potential, chasing that happiness, chasing that bliss. I don't care if the candies come out yet. I care that you swing. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled or frustrated. No, just look at the issue and say good. When you raised your hand and said this is my income, this is my dream, this is my goal, when you raised your hand and said this is it, don't you understand you need to operate at least once a year to make that a reality? You can't get to that dream on 70%. You can't get to that dream on 60%. You can't get to that dream waking up at 6 or 7 o'clock. Because the truth is, y'all, I don't care how great life is for you. I don't care how rich you are, how popular, what job you have, what race you are. The thing that brings us all together is not always success. It's struggle. I don't care who you are. If you're going through this human experience, you're going to experience struggle. You're going to experience hard times, setbacks, loss, depression. Just as we have our ups, we're going to have our downs. When I'm going through these moments, I love to disconnect. I disconnect from the world because some of us are so connected to everything that we haven't connected to our soul. We haven't connected to our peace because we're so connected to requests, to comparing our life, to all these outside things that we ignore our internal soul. Constantly remind yourself after every defeat, after every setback, every time you get knocked down, I've got a saying. If life knocks you down, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. See, a lot of people, because of failure, they stop. They stop believing. Let me share something with you, you will fail your way to success. Yes, you will fail your way to success. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times people tell you you can't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a dime in the bank. You will fail your way to success. The easy path calls to us to be weak for that moment, to break down. Accept reality, but focus on the solution. Take that issue, that setback, that problem, and turn it into something good. Go forward. Finally, if you can say the word good, then guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, that means you've still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack. There are going to be plenty of times in your life when you're not happy. There might be years. And so it's a shallow boat in a very rough ocean. Happiness is something that descends upon you. Everyone knows it comes upon you suddenly, and you should be grateful for it because there's plenty of suffering. If you happen to be happy, wonderful, enjoy it, be grateful for it. You will fail your way to greatness. Most people allow their fear of failure, 80%, to outweigh their desire to succeed. When you're willing to fail again and again and again, when you make up your mind to become unstoppable, when you make up your mind to become a no matter what person, then that will give birth to a part of yourself you don't know right now. So another year has come and gone, and a lot of us are in the same place we were last year. What are you waiting on? We sleep 1/3 of our lives, and we think we can take days off. We think we have the right to sit back and give ourselves options on which way we're going to go in life. Am I going to run today? Am I going to work out today? Well, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's my birthday. You think time gives a that it's Christmas, that it's New Year's, that it's your birthday. You're giving me some options. Let me tell you one thing, time is running out. You keep sitting around wondering what you want to do, you're just going to run out of time. So, make sure you do one thing. Stop following the crowd. They may take time off, but you can't afford to. Ask yourself this question before any action or inaction: what I am doing, what I am about to do, is it going to help me get where I am going? Is this action going to make me stronger or weaker? Smarter or more skilled? Will this action move me toward the strategic long-term goals I am trying to achieve in my life? And do not lie to yourself. Now, I understand it's hard, and I understand it's difficult, and I understand that it's lonely. But here's also what I understand: it's worth it. Because there's not a better thing in the world than going out and doing everything that everybody said you couldn't do, shouldn't do, wouldn't do. It's worth it. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. They've never built anything. They've never been around winning. They've never won anything. These people are on a different path. And you cannot allow people on a different path than you to talk you out of going down the path you are on, because the path you are on is going to inspire people to be great. People are going to see you win. They're going to see you struggle, build, overcome. And then they are going to say, "Holy, I can do that too, maybe." But what happens is we get in this world, and it's hard. And so the harder it is, the more you start to push back. Don't wait. The time will never be perfect. But if you start where you stand, if you're willing to work with whatever tools you find in your hand, if you can take command of those, you can do more than anyone could ever understand. This is about living your purpose. Your story is needed. Your story is important. Your story is a necessity of the fabric of this entire country. Because without the story of your wins, there will be less people that win and more people that become mediocre. This is an obligation that you have. Don't rationalize. Don't negotiate. You have to tell yourself the truth. Make it a resolution of discipline to get better, smarter, faster, stronger, healthier, more productive, less agitated. To eat cleaner, live more. To go and do all those things. But don't do them on New Year's Eve. Don't do them on New Year's Day. Do them now. And that resolution of discipline to work and follow through and maintain your will, that'll result in the freedom you're looking for. Discipline equals freedom. There is no way out. No one gets out alive. Death is part of life, like the contrast between darkness and light. Without death, there is no life. And the people I have lost taught me that. They taught me how precious life is, how blessed we are to have every day to learn, to grow, to laugh, to live. To live every day with purpose and passion. To wake up in the morning and be thankful. Thankful for that morning, thankful for that opportunity to go into the world and live. You can do what you put your mind to. And if you continue to put your mind to it, the game opens up new levels. Each new level that gets opened up, you're able to adapt a different mindset and a different approach. You can stop at that level, or you can go, I want more levels. I want more levels. There are people who come into your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season. There are people who come into your life like boosters for a rocket. If you ever watch a rocket go into space, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude. Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes you're going to. So don't be afraid when they fall off. They're not bad people. They just couldn't go where you're going. A lot of people are just showing up in life. They get up in the morning and go through the day. They go to the job just to pull a check, watching the clock. So you want to be a different kind of person. You want to get something out of this. If you're going to do it, it's worth your time, your energy. You've got some expectations. I do not let people waste my time. The most driven individuals live a life for many years, at certain times, without balance. Everybody strives for balance, balance, balance. But if something was missing, it was actually a gift, this lack of balance. You can't be the best at something and try to balance everything else in your life. There are going to be times when things are out of balance. If you configure your life so that what you are genuinely doing is aiming at the highest possible good, then the things you need to survive and thrive will deliver themselves to you. If you dare to do the most difficult thing you can conceptualize, your life will work out better than if you do anything else. There's no better pathway to self-realization than to posit the highest good you can conceive of and commit yourself to it. And you might also ask yourself, and this is worth asking, do you really have anything better to do? And if you don't, why would you do anything else? If everything you're doing every day is related to the highest possible aim you can conceptualize, that's the very definition of meaning that would sustain you in your life. When all hell's about to break loose and chaos is coming, you might want to be doing something you regard as truly worthwhile, because that's what will keep you afloat when everything is flooded. And you don't want to wait until the flood comes to start doing that, because if your ark's half built and you don't know how to captain it, the probability is very high that you'll drown. Known hills are preferable to strange heavens because it's familiar. Life is rough, ladies and gentlemen. It's rough and scary. It's scary growing, scary taking a chance, scary acting on your intuition, on your guts. It's frightening, and people are immobilized by fear. We are taken apart slowly, convinced to take an easier path, enticed by comfort. Most of us aren't defeated in one decisive battle. We are defeated one tiny, seemingly insignificant surrender at a time that chips away at who we should really be. It isn't that you wake up one day and decide, that's it, I'm going to be weak. No, it is a slow incremental process. It chips away at our will, our discipline. We sleep in a little later. We miss a workout, then another. And without realizing it, one day you wake up and become something you never would have allowed. Instead of strong, you are weak. You have to be on guard. You have to hold the line on the seemingly insignificant little things. Things that shouldn't matter, but things that do. What you've got to do to get the life God wants you to have is put more air in your bucket. Blow your bubble up. Expand yourself. Take yourself out of your comfort zone. Do not live in your bubble. Put some more air in your bubble. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. Success is not a comfortable procedure. Don't go through life feeling powerless. Victims are people who are powerless. You're not powerless. You are powerful. You direct the power in your life. Whatever your life is right now, it is a duplication of your consciousness. If you could have what you needed and wanted, what would that be? That's a meditative question. You don't want to force an answer. Ask yourself that like you would ask someone else, if I could have what I wanted, what would that look like? If I could have the relationship, the friendships, the job, the career, the educational pathway, if I took care of myself properly, if I regulated my susceptibility to temptations, what would that look like if it was optimized? That sets up a goal with motivational force. This is worth doing. The next goal is to take your goal and fragment it into micro goals until you find a micro goal small enough that it still presents some challenge that you will do. Most people overestimate what they'll do in a year and underestimate what they'll do in a decade. A decade sounds like a long time, but how many can remember where you were a decade ago and realize the time has gone like this? Our whole world is accelerating. A decade will go by before you know it. The question is, what are you going to do with it? You want to make sure when you arrive at the end of that decade, you're a different universe than when you started. In the short term, it may go up and down, but in the long term, it's explosive. So, as you begin to look toward making this your decade, as you begin to look toward making your life different, as you begin to look at yourself, you've got to redefine yourself. Who are you right now? And who must you become to create what you want? What has to change about you? Look toward the future and take inventory of yourself. What is it about you right now that you've got to leave behind? Because this no longer fits. Looking at where you want to go and the kind of person you must become, the kind of standards you have for you, what must you do differently? No matter what's going on in your life, it's not permanent. Everything is going to change. There are two things you can do with change: you can react to it, or you can participate in it. I want to tell you something else, and I want to make this clear: don't just listen. I'm not just talking. I'm doing. And I don't want you to just listen. Put this information to work. Make today count every day. Go forward. Get aggressive and attack. Whether it's on the battlefield, on the beat, in the factory, on the farm, on the construction site, on the website, in the garage, or in the firehouse, don't hesitate. We all get what we tolerate in ourselves and other people. But when you're no longer willing to tolerate something, that's when your life changes. The difference in people is their standards. Period. Commit means to make it happen no matter what. When you make a commitment, I'm going to become wealthy, when you make it important, when you decide, I'm going to do it no matter what, life changes for you. Most people don't keep their commitments to their commitments. That's why they lead lives of poverty, misery, unhappiness. No matter what you face, no matter how bad it is going to be, when there is a challenge, the only way to overcome it is to start walking. I am one decision away from a totally different marriage, a totally different life, a totally different job, a totally different income. Your life comes down to your decisions. And if you change your decisions, you will change everything. Ask yourself, if I could have what I needed and wanted, what would that look like? You'll get a dream, a vision, and it comes to you. That's the most accurate way of describing it. It makes itself manifest in the theater of your imagination. It's a rather frightening question to allow yourself to ask what you really need and want. This is not about abstaining from life. It's the opposite. It's about going all in and really engaging, really living, really experiencing, tasting, smelling, eating, loving. We're here for that. We're here for all of that. So you create the experience, and when it gets predictable or boring, change it up. Create another one. And then how far can you go again? It just goes on. A lot of folk won't let you forget what you used to do, what mistakes you've made. All of us have made some mistakes in life. All of us have done some things that, if we had them to do over again, we wouldn't do. Well, it didn't happen that way. Oh, you don't want me to live that down. You want to keep putting that in my face about what I did. Guess what? I'm not interested. That's what I did then. Won't do it today. What were we all waiting for to start attacking life? For the stars to align. Guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There's no perfect time to start. You've got to start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese, some depressed, some insecure. The only way to overcome it is for you. You, along with faith. I believe everybody has a gift. Every single human listening right now, you have a gift. The thing working against you is you have all these other people. By doing this, you are actually keeping yourself from becoming great, because the most you could ever be when you do these things is a watered down, lesser version of what someone else is doing. And how do you know that your own style, your own way of doing things, that you would develop little by little if you would just take little risks, isn't going to be greater than all those things you watch? Best work when you at least motivate. So those days you know you have to do it. Guess what you've got to do? You've got to suck it up and do it. Stay hard. One thing you have to understand about life, everything changes and everything ends. That sounds heavy, but it's a truth. If everything changes and everything ends, number one, it should make you appreciate what you have right now. And then my view is, what's next is always better if I make it so. It's my job to make it so. I think passion is the genesis of genius. If you've got enough passion, you're going to find answers nobody else does. But most people run out of fuel. They get tired, exhausted, burned out. The law of familiarity, they're around something so much they take it for granted. What I see is the one common denominator of people successful over a lifetime is sustained hunger. Hunger is the number one factor. The secret of every winner, in sports, financially, spiritually, any other way, is one word: resilience. Resilience. It is the ability to bounce back. Why? Because everybody goes through tough times. Everybody has failures, flops. Nobody goes through life with unbroken success. Nobody goes through life with no problems. Nobody goes through life with everything handed to them. There are problems, pains, pressures, difficulties in everybody's life. The difference between winners and losers is that winners get back up. I do think that means the soul participates in something eternal, the attempt of being itself to transform what's unnecessarily painful and malevolent into what's good. Human beings actually do participate in that. That's part of the reason our ancient tradition insists we're made in the image of God. I don't think you can live a life of sufficient profundity to protect yourself from being corrupted by suffering and malevolence without adopting a responsibility commensurate with that set of ideas. You either orient yourself upward, to the star above the horizon, and try desperately to improve the structure of being, or you work at cross purposes and make things worse. I don't think there's a middle ground. It's almost like we're in a trance, sleepwalking through life. We find ways to cancel out our dreams. But it's a dream killer. A lot of things we want to do, places we'd like to go, experiences we'd like to have, we just stop. You cannot be great being a lesser version of what already exists. You can only be great when you execute against your own potential and do your own development. That means getting up there and looking like a clown. If you want to be great, if you want to be one of the best that's ever lived at what you do, you have to understand it's about developing your own skills, your own style, your own swagger, your own self. You should pursue your gift. The Bible says your gift will make room for you. There's always something there to build a case on why you can't move on, why you can't grow to the next level, why you can't begin to manifest your greatness, why you can't begin to live life on your terms. Always something to block you, to keep you where you are, to keep you from beginning to develop your true greatness. Always some fear. How do we handle it? If you've been hiding out behind, but if you've been using the fact that you don't have enough money or education, take it head on. Go get the education. It isn't me that changes you. It's you. You set the small goals. You achieve those goals. Then set some more and achieve those. And set some more goals, maybe a little bigger, but not much bigger. Just start small. Start with changing tomorrow morning. Get that squared away, then move on to the next day and the next. Move your life to a better place one little step, one little victory at a time. At some time or another, we've agonized over making a decision. Some decisions are major, and there are a lot of small decisions we don't make that tax our minds, drain our energy, create anxiety, nervousness, mental torment because we don't take care of it. We decide not to decide, which is a decision. Deciding to act is a major challenge for all of us at different points, in different areas of our lives. There are things that happen to us, experiences we have, that prevent us from working through the mental block of acting. If you don't have a lofty ambition, then you suffer miserably. The reason is life is complex, short, finite, full of suffering, and beyond you. People often say life is meaningless. It's like, no, it's not. That's wrong. If it were meaningless, that'd be easy. You could just sit there and do nothing and it wouldn't matter. When people say life has no meaning, that isn't what they mean. What they mean is, I'm suffering stupidly and intensely, and I don't know what to do about it. Well, the suffering is meaningful. It's just not the kind of meaning you want. So how do you get out of that? You note the baseline of suffering and then say to yourself, okay, I need to do something that justifies that. An eagle flies at a certain altitude, and the only other bird that flies at that altitude is another eagle. So if he finds himself flocking with pigeons, he may be flying too low. Eagles ain't got time to gossip. Kings don't gossip. Fools party. Kings celebrate. The road of greatness has potholes, detours, wrecks. The road to greatness isn't pretty, but it's purposeful. Your road isn't going to be smooth or easy. Your road will be the road less traveled. But just know as you're traveling this road and doubt creeps up, as you start to question yourself, as hard times creep up, just know you were called to travel this road. And at the end of the road, everything you can't even imagine is waiting for you. At the end of the road, there's a you waiting for you that you can't even picture right now. You can't even fathom that you. The journey built this. The journey wasn't pretty, but it was purposeful. The journey wasn't perfect, but it was purposeful. And as you meet struggles, as you struggle to stay on the path, first of all, remember you don't have to fight alone. Reach out to your comrades in arms. We win wars because we stick together. And when we stick together, we can overcome any enemy. When they try to flank you, do what a soldier does, turn into the ambush. Turn toward the enemy. Fire and attack. Reasons have power. Your reasons will drive you. When you have doubt, when your faith becomes weak, your reasons will fortify your faith. When you have an inner conversation saying no, don't do that, your reasons will become your rod and staff to comfort you, to take you through those challenging moments. It can be painful. It will be uncomfortable. And that's where the growth is. When you're uncomfortable, when you're stretching out, when you're taking life by the collar, no matter how many mistakes I've made, no matter how many times I've failed, no matter how many times I've hit the ground, I got up. Do not be ashamed of the times you've lost. Use that as lessons learned and show the world what you're really made of. Well, I think the deck is stacked against everyone to some degree because life is very difficult and we all die. But some people do have it harder than others, and all of us have it very hard at some times. It's like, well, what's the alternative? You take responsibility for that and try to struggle uphill, because the alternative makes everything worse. Bitter. Should they be bitter? Resentful? Violent? These things don't help. They have to struggle uphill despite their excess burden. And it's responsibility, not guilt. It's not necessarily their fault. That's not the point. You stop dreaming. You stop believing. You stop seeking. When are you going to realize that you hurt? That's what I want to know. At some point, you let the world put shackles around your imagination, around your life, to keep you in a place you're no longer supposed to be. You allow the world to imprison you in your past, and you think that's all you are. You let people judge you like they're perfect. I hope you understand that every single person you look at, every single person you admire, every single person you aspire to be like is literally just a regular human being like you that has worked their ass off. All of us have seen our destiny at some point in time, and we decided not to listen. We decided to ignore it and said, no, that's not for me. Life came in and snapped us in the head, and we stopped dreaming. Bigger Thomas said, the impulse to dream has been slowly beaten out of me through the experience of life. That's what causes many of us to give up on our volcano, the experiences, the challenges, the defeats, the disappointments, the failures of life. Then we decide to prematurely throw in the towel on ourselves, to sell out on our potential, on living our dreams, feeling we're not good enough, not wanting to make any mistakes, particularly if raised with a great deal of criticism. So you've got to be willing to prepare yourself and do the best you can. Take your best shot and let the chips fall where they may. Let their demands and trials make you stronger. Let the adversity you face today turn you into a better person tomorrow, so in the future you look back at these struggles and say to them, thank you. You made me better. So if you lose and you jump right back up and you haven't really changed, really changed from that loss, you're never going to learn from it. And you're never going to truly know the unforgiving race to greatness, because that's part of the unforgiving part, the losing part. That part is unforgiven, y'all. What's the point of having dreams if they're going to just stay that? If they're going to stay dreams forever, it's got to get to a point where you actually live in those dreams. You've got to get to a point where those dreams turn into reality for you. Those dreams become your reality. It's time for you to live it, breathe it, be it. It's time now to get more dedicated, get less distracted, go deeper. If you want to be great, want to be bad as ever at what you do, you're going to be misunderstood by everybody because you're going to be so obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes. Takes every second of your life. Anybody says balance. Yeah, balance is important for a lot of people. It is. But if you want to go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you do, you've arrived. When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive. You can think about it, wish for it, vote for it, think about it as long as you want. But unless you get out every single day and put in the work inch by inch, you will never get there. The secret of every single winner is one word. It is the word resilience.